Speaking to UBC, the Executive Director, Water Governance Institute, Henry Bazila, said it is possible to grow fish and crops without using soil, but only basing on water. He began by explaining what aquaponics means.
Aquaponics, we have joined two terms, aquaculture and hydroponics. Now, aquaculture in simple terms is fish farming, and hydroponics is growing of crops without necessarily using soil or outside the normal garden, but basing on water as the medium for fertilization of the plants. That is why it is called hydroponics and hydroponics. So the project is an integrated system which has both fish farming and horticulture, crop growing in very simple terms.
Bazila said the method is very cheap compared to other ways of fish farming, since one needs a 1 cubic meter container tank to practice aquaponics.
The basic unit that we are using to promote fish farming is a 1 cubic meter container tank, which has a 1 square meter growth tray above it, and the system uses the water from the fish tank to feed the crops which are above in a growth bed, and then it continuously do it in a recyclable manner for a long period of time. So you actually use less water in producing crops and the fish as you would have used if you are using a pond or you are using a cage. And the advantage of this is that you can determine and control the number of fish, the way the fish they eat, and even the way the crops grow on the growth bed that is created above. Some people have used even tanks that use polythene. For those who do not know the kind of tank I'm talking about tanks made out of plastic or plastic tanks. Many times they use them on car washing bays. Those kind of tanks can serve as a container for growing fish. Ideally, you need something that is square so that the fish do not concentrate in the center when they are growing within the tank.
He explained that due to the increasing population, fish has become scarce and expensive, therefore calling for promotion of fish farming in Uganda.
Why are we promoting this fish farming in Uganda? The answer to that question is that we all know that the fish stocks in our lakes are all declining. The amount of fish that is available on the market is reducing so much, and because of that, fish has become extremely expensive for many of the Ugandans to afford. Secondly, because of the growing population both in the urban centers and even at the country at large, we are discovering that the amount of fish that is available in our lakes cannot support the population, and therefore nature has to be supported to increase the amount of fish that will be available for consumption.
Bazila further noted that the project of aquaponics will further help to address the problem of malnutrition in some households.
The other component why we are promoting it is that the horticulture things that we normally use as food, like tomatoes, sukuma wiki, cabbages, lettuce, and green pepper, are usually very expensive to buy. I think today in Kampala, 1 tomato goes for about 300 shillings or 500 shillings. 1 green pepper can even go for 500 shillings. Not very many homes can afford to eat green pepper or tomatoes in their food. The third element why we're promoting this project is because of the poor feed or food that people are eating. We are seeing that many of the population are malnourished or they feed poorly. And because they are feeding poorly, we are seeing that the young children, the 0 to 5 years and 5 to 18, are not growing very well because of poor diets. We think that through fish farming and through growing horticulture crops at households or in our homes, we should be able to overcome the problem of poor diet.
He called upon the public to protect water resources jealously so that everyone can benefit from it.
We must begin to look at the idea of protecting our fresh water jealously, making sure that we do not pollute it and making sure that we have equal access to this water.
Henry Bazila, the Executive Director of Water Governance Institute on Water Management, Reporting for NewsHour, I'm Mary Chakua. Speaking to UBC, the Executive Director, Water Governance Institute, Henry Bazira, said it is possible to grow fish and crops without using soil, but only basing on water. He began by explaining what aquaponics means.
Aquaponics, we have joined two terms, aquaculture and hydroponics. Now, aquaculture in simple terms is fish farming, and